Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the October 2nd, 2024 City of Fraser Regular Planning Commission meeting. Please place any cell phones or any other devices that might disturb the meeting in silent mode or turn them off. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item number 2 is the roll call. City Clerk, would you please do the roll call?
Commissioner Barr.
Here.
Commissioner Zarnecki.
Present.
Commissioner Farina.
Present.
Commissioner Kyle.
Here.
Commissioner Meyer.
Here.
Commissioner Teller.
Here.
Commissioner Warnick.
Here.
That is a quorum.
Thank you. Agenda item 3 is approval of agenda, October 2, 2024. I'm going to suggest that we move a few items around, one to accommodate our applicant in the audience for the proposed site plan amendment for Meyer. If we can move item 6B, up to the first item under new business, and then we can move item 7A under new business, and then we can move the public hearing for the zoning ordinance text as the last item to be considered this evening. Did I make that clear? Kind of confusing.
Just tell us what we're doing when we're doing.
6B is going to be 6A, 7A is going to be 6B, and 6A is going to be 6C.
Very good, Commissioner Farina, thank you. Okay? All right. So I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as revised.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Warnick and support by Commissioner Kyle to approve the agenda as revised. Would you please do a roll call, Mr. Gischler?
Commissioner Barr.
Yes.
Commissioner Zarnecki.
Yes.
Commissioner Farina.
Yes.
Commissioner Keel.
Yes.
Kyle, sorry. Commissioner Meyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Teller.
Yes.
Commissioner Warnick.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Agenda item 4 is the chairperson's opening remarks. Tonight's meeting will follow the agenda that was posted and has been revised at this point, and it's been printed and revised and available at the entrance of the room. It is important to let everyone know the Planning Commission is created by state law. The commission is comprised of 7 members, all of whom have volunteered to serve. Members are appointed by the mayor and confirmed by city council. The role of the Planning Commission is to plan and promote the efficient, coordinated development of the city for the health, safety, and general welfare of its residents. We are not here to negotiate with applicants or allow everything an applicant is requesting. However, the Planning Commission does have the power to approve certain requests and recommend others, depending on the nature of the request and whether all of the standards in the zoning ordinance have been met. The Planning Commission may also impose conditions on a proposed project in order to ensure that those standards are met. Other individuals seated here this evening are the city's legal representative from O'Reilly Rancilio PC, Alyssa Erickson, and Alicia Warren, our city planner from McKenna and Associates, and our city clerk, August Ischlag. This evening's public hearing is on the proposed text amendment to the zoning ordinance, specifically sign regulations, section 32-85. After the city planner's overview of the proposed text amendment, the public will be invited to speak. Each person will have one opportunity to speak, must only speak directly on the proposed text amendment, and must only address the Planning Commission. After the public hearing is closed, the Planning Commission and/or the administration will address any questions that might have been posed by the public speakers. At that time, the Planning Commission members may ask further questions of the administration and then consider a motion to forward the proposed text amendment to the City Council for review and adoption. We will go to agenda item number 5, approval of the minutes for August 7, 2024. Any discussion on the minutes? No, I just have one minor correction. And it's item number 3, approval, the headline, approval of agenda August 7. You have July 15, that should be corrected to August 7. Just very, very insignificant.
Okay, that's in the headline, okay. I'll make it.
Okay, any other discussion on the,
Number 9,
okay.
sheets will likely be before the council on October the 30th.
You want to put the actual date in there now
Yeah.
that we know the date?
Right.
That's good.
We're going to add it back in because we didn't know it at the time.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
These are minutes for that.
these are minutes, that wasn't part of that.
Well, we will definitely make that announcement
Yeah.
this evening. so everybody-
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as revised, the minutes as revised. Okay, and support.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Farina and support by Commissioner Barr to approve the minutes as revised. Would you please do a roll call?
Commissioner Barr? Yes. Commissioner Zarnecki?
Yes.
Commissioner Farina?
Yes.
Commissioner Keel?
Yes,
Kyle? Sorry.
it's good. I've been calling you my whole life.
I know. I've been called worse. Commissioner Meyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Teller?
Yes.
Commissioner Warnick?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries, thank you. All right, we're going to skip around a little bit. We're going to do agenda item, which is now agenda item 6A, site plan 24-05, 34835 Utica Road, Meyer site plan amendment. Ms. Warren, do you have a report on that, please?
Okay, our applicant Meyer is here tonight seeking a site plan amendment to reduce their parking at their site located at 35835 Utica Road. The applicant did receive a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals for a parking reduction at the September 5th meeting with the condition that they receive a site plan amendment to reduce their parking from 1,079 spaces to 999 spaces, net loss of 80 spaces. Meyer previously received parking reduction and site plan amendment back in 2020. In August 2020, a summary of that was included in the review for you tonight in the packets as well. City administration reviewed the plans submitted, and the applicant submitted by the applicant, and believe the proposal can be approved based on the findings that the proposed required parking modification for this particular Meyer development site is appropriate based upon its type, scale, and intensity, and does not appear to create any adverse impacts. Public safety and engineer did both review and saw no issues with the plan. And city administration has no concerns given that the changes to the site plan are minor, and we recommend approving the site plan amendment.
Thank you, Ms. Warren. Any questions?
If I may, the ZBA approved it based on Myers telling us that all of their new stores, because of the way people are shopping now, are going down and in parking, and nothing that they have is over, I think you said 600? Was it? I can't quite remember that.
Please state your name and your association with them.
Good evening, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Joe Paluzzi. I'm with Veris Development Group, and I'm here this evening on behalf of the Meyer Corporation.
And the parking on your new facilities is maximum of?
500.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion?
Well, I go to that Myers at least once a week, probably usually twice, and I have never seen, very seldom see anybody park in that one shaded area. And the main parking lot is never even close to half full, so I don't think it'd be a problem at all. My opinion.
I agree. I remember the day you couldn't find a parking space, so,
Yeah, not no more.
yes, I know.
I have a question, basically for the city attorney and the planner. Is this a standard procedure? The zoning board already approved this. So we really can't deny it because they're the ones that break the law, basically. And
Your words, not mine.
so I'm just curious of, of what this, is just a technicality that we're doing, and we basically have to approve it?
So I would not say that you have to approve it. Obviously, there's standards in the zoning ordinance for a site plan to be approved or denied. So that's obviously still the analysis here. To give a little bit of history and why it's just a little bit strange in these circumstances is that back in, I believe, 2020, the Planning Commission actually approved the reduced parking on site and required that there be a reserved bank parking agreement. And that has occurred here now because there's even less proposed parking, but no place on site to have that reserved bank parking anymore. Our office's recommendation and direction to the applicant was, you now need a variance for the reduced parking. Planning Commission cannot approve any further reduced parking because there's no reserved bank parking land on the site. So the variance was obtained, and we also directed the applicant that in looking at what we've done in the past is that because a site plan's already been approved, since this is taking a chunk out of that site plan, an amendment would be necessary, so all of the records are clear of kind of how it all fell in line, if that makes any sense.
Okay. But could the applicant have, went for site plan approval today as a piggyback? I mean, that's what I've seen in the past, is usually we just have one meeting and we approve that initial variance for the site, and then we right away have a site plan for the new business. Could that have happened tonight?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding what your question is.
What I'm
like,
wondering
process-wise.
is, I don't know if anybody else understands.
No, I understand it exactly.
Because we just
There
to
is no
speed
site-
process.
There is no site plan for this portion.
Oh, so you're asking about the actual development within this?
Yes, I'm sorry. Could they have came the same night?
I think technically, yes, but I don't, that's up to the applicant of when they obviously
Yeah,
submitted their
I-
plans, yes.
Yes, I would have a question of that, if it would have been
That was
offered
that was
to
our
you.
preference, but we were told we couldn't do that.
Who said you couldn't do it?
Well, we would definitely have liked to been here this evening on both items. So this item to go first, and then right behind this to be another agenda item for site plan approval of our new proposed
Yeah.
I think Commissioner Warnick asked, can you divulge who told you you could not do that? Or you
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Because it makes the most sense to me, especially being in the construction industry and that the sooner, if you were trying to get this project off the ground, because
Which we
now
are.
we're going to be into winter months.
Yeah.
If
That-
you got to wait till next month to come again, we just wasted 30 of your days, and we apologize for that.
Yeah, well, thank you for recognizing that, and we obviously want to get this going as quickly as possible. So it would have been nice, but here we are, and hopefully with your tonight favorable vote, we can be back here in a month and go through the process.
Good, you're ready to come forward with the site plan?
Oh, it's been here at the package has been sitting at the counter for 3-4 weeks, pending this meeting.
Well, I personally apologize.
Thank you very much.
That didn't take place.
Thank you.
Yeah, it should have.
Obviously, we'll ask the planner and city clerk to bring that forward and find out why, and so we can run.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason behind it that we're just not aware of, so that would be helpful to us too.
Yeah.
So yes, yes. Any other questions of the applicant?
No more, no further.
I guess I entertain a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve site plan SP 24-0534-835 Utica Road and Meyer site plan amendment as a result of the zoning Board of Appeals approval of a variance.
I'll second.
it's been moved by Commissioner Warnick and support by Commissioner Kyle.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
If I will,
Yes.
or if I may, I'm sorry. As I kind of briefly mentioned prior, there is a prior condition of a reserved bank parking agreement that was recorded against the property. So my recommendation would be, if the commission so chooses, to add a condition indicating that a revised reserved bank parking agreement be provided in acceptable form to our office, because there may be some changes that need to be made in terms of legal descriptions, some recitals, things of that nature, to kind of make it more clear now that there's going to be less parking on site.
So they still can do land bank parking? I thought, I understood there was not enough.
There is currently land banked parking on the site, nothing more for additional land bank parking, but there are legal descriptions of the Meyer parcel in that agreement that likely will change if this portion of the property that obviously is going to be taken for the proposed development is taken out of the legal description. So there could be changes to the reserved bank parking agreement, not so much in terms of quantity of reserved bank parking, but in other fun legalese type things.
Okay.
I guess is what I'm
Okay.
saying. Yeah.
If I may, it's my understanding that the existing location where the property is currently burdened for land or banked parking is not changing.
Correct. But the legal description in the actual agreement includes the portion that you're looking to take out. So it should be made accurate to reflect that the site plan has been amended, and the actual Meyer parent parcel would be different than what's provided for within the agreement right now.
So it's just a technical.
Removing, but
Correct, yeah.
So we're going to do a lot split combination. We're going to take I'll call it our parent parcel, which is what we own currently, and we're going to combine it and create a new legal description to include the portion of the parking lot from Meyer that will then become a parcel, one. So I guess I'm not, the only reason I'm bringing this up is to get into the whole new agreement for banked parking. I feel that's a step we don't need to take because it's already in existence and it's not anywhere near what we're doing.
It's my understanding that the legal descriptions may need to be revised based on an approval of a site plan amendment. Even though there's no new agreement for banked parking, it's staying the same. However, that banked parking agreement, my understanding, was based on the proposed AutoZone development, right?
That's correct.
So now we're proposing another use in one of the outlots, which could change the legal descriptions that are in that recorded document for the reserved bank parking agreement. So if the legal descriptions change, even though the land bank parking location is not,
No.
it could affect something that's within the agreement.
Okay.
I'll amend my motion to include that.
That.
To include the bank parking.
So could we say that potentially we'd need to enter into a new banked parking agreement based on your review? Because I really don't think you're going to need it.
Okay,
I mean, obviously, once you see the new legal that's created, which we have, I think after your review, I think anyway, that the existing agreement is fine the way it stands. And the reason I bring this up is to deal with all of the moving parts to Meyer Corporation. It's very, very involved. So that's why I bring it up. And this document was entered into, and as you've mentioned, is currently identified on the parcel and burdened accordingly.
Can I maybe, would it be right to say that the approval of this plan will be based on the legal approval of Meyer's bank parking agreement with the city attorney's office?
Yeah, I mean, we could wordsmith it however we would like to. I mean, the condition could be that it's approved on the condition that the city attorney's office reviewed the reserved bank parking agreement and thereafter revise and record it if necessary. Does that work?
Fine.
Okay.
Thank you. And I'm not trying to be difficult or sticky with the approach. That's great.
You just want to get going, right?
Just want to get going.
And we want you to get going.
Did you get that wording?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can listen. So I'll amend my motion to include that. that wording.
Did you get it,
We
Mr.
have to-
Schlegel? I have it if you,
Sure, and it's recorded, so we'll have it verbatim.
I'll support.
okay, so it's been moved by Commissioner Warnick and support by Commissioner Kyle to approve the 34835 Utica Road Meyer site plan amendment with that one condition. Take a roll call.
Commissioner Barr? Commissioner Zarnecki?
Yes.
Commissioner Farina?
Affirmative.
Affirmative? Now it's got to be different. Commissioner Kyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuller?
Yes.
Commissioner Warnick?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. And I would like to ask Mr. Paluzzi or attorney, that this does not slow the progress for the applicant, right? He can come November.
Not anything on my end, as far as I know.
Okay, all right,
Thank you. We'll see you hopefully next month.
okay, good.
Thank you very much.
You have a good evening.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We will go to agenda item number 6B, unfinished business, zoning ordinance text amendments, and regulations. And Ms. Warren, are you doing this? Yes. Okay,
Well, I'll kind of do what I know, and then I'll have Alyssa piggyback.
okay.
So in front of you, or you have already received the final draft of the signed ordinance that you guys have worked on for months with Lauren. So this is the final draft that needs to be put onto the probably November city council meeting. And then we do have the discussion to be held regarding the rope lighting memo that you guys received today, I believe. So this can be something that can either be added or we can change. Alyssa mentioned adding to the zoning ordinance rewrite as opposed to the sign ordinance. But if you guys have questions on the rope lighting after reviewing, or
I
if
have
you
no
want my
questions,
suggestion.
but I will ask my members. Any questions?
I'd like to just talk about it.
Yes, go right ahead.
Want to do it right now?
Sure.
Oh, okay. My whole thing is that it's kind of, we just got this memo from the other, oh, I didn't even see something on the back.
Yeah, I know. Look,
Okay, I missed that.
that explains it more.
Okay. Well, my whole thing is the rope, string lighting, it's all technical terms. And it could be called tube lighting. There's different things for all of it, but we're associating it with signs when sometimes it's just lighting of the window around the perimeter. And that's where I'm confused. I thought it wouldn't be then part of a sign ordinance, I don't think.
Yep, and that's kind of what our memorandum concludes or suggests, I guess, to the commission is, as the draft is currently written, the rope lighting that brings attention to a sign is prohibited. This is obviously related to the sign ordinance that we're writing. So if there is more general regulations in terms of zoning regulations for rope lighting or string lighting or things of that nature, our recommendation, and in talking with Ms. Sarah as well, would be that would be better suited in the actual zoning ordinance overhaul in general, just because we're focused just solely on signs at this point.
I agree.
So-
And we are going to be talking about the zoning next.
That's obviously forthcoming,
Yeah,
yes.
so I'm okay with that, and I like that idea.
Run it.
Commissioner Farina?
Hi. In reading this, and the building department recommended 50%, and I see that Warren's at 50%. That's good for me. I don't know if anybody else has anything they want to do, but I did see, when I read this over, that some communities have a total, a maximum's coverage of 150 square feet is Sterling Heights. Should we consider putting that in this ordinance?
That's up to the commission, Mr. Farina. I know that the direction given in August was to kind of give the commission some ideas of what surrounding communities do. As you'll see, it varies, but yes, I mean, if the commission does wish to include a square footage limitation.
Actually, I was talking to the,
Oh, I'm sorry, you were looking at me, so I thought that you were asking me. I apologize.
Is there anywhere in Fraser that has a glass front that is 150 square feet, even in total size? Because that would be 10 by 15 feet. That's a
Yeah.
big front of glass.
across the street, though. It's got side, it's got front. So it's got,
We had some industrial signs too that were pretty
Well, they're broken up though, too.
Yeah,
We had
that's
some
So,
signs, yeah.
so where do you break, where do you
glass
decide the
area
end?
of a facade.
The piece of glass is definitely not 150
well, that's the
feet.
well. That's the thing. We can if it exceeds what is ours right now? It's 50%. Is that what we decided?
no, it's 25% now.
Yeah. So that's not very much. So we're talking 25% and then can't exceed 150. So we're talking the surface that this thing would have to be on would have to be a like 900 square foot surface. Because 25, like we're talking sizes, right? This
Total window.
surface would have
No,
to be
you're talking
huge.
total windows, not just one window. Total windows,
Of the facade it's located on.
yes.
So like different sides are going to be different amounts. This is still huge. I'm trying.
Yeah. But it says total glass area of the facade, which would mean the whole front.
Okay.
So all the window
All the way
area
around it?
total.
Okay.
So 150 is a lot, and 25% could be, I mean, here's what it comes down to me, is what it looks like. If you do 50% of that window's there for a purpose, and they use that then for signable area and doing things like the lighting and stuff like that. You know, they've already got another sign. They've got a sign to add. That's, most of the window sign areas that used to be limited, like we had Shots here, would have a change of one every time there's a special, you know, with the meat pricing or whatever. This is different. This is something that can stay a sign forever. And do we, you know, they already got a sign, so this is additional signage. So do we want to allow them to cover the whole thing with signage? 50% even?
Well, no,
I
that's
like
the whole thing.
I
If we're at-
personally like the 25%, but everybody's individual.
I agree with the 25% entirely. I would even go lower if possible. But the thing that I'm saying is I don't know if we necessarily need to add in the 150 square feet in area. 'cause
That's just Sterling Heights that does it.
Yeah, that's because I feel like that might even just be excessive. That's a lot of additions that we might not need. I don't think it's ever going to come into a consideration where we need to be like, oh, well, we should have put that 150. They got 152.
Any comments?
So what is, we want to go to 25%? Is that, even though the building department recommends 50%?
I think it says that they just requested 50% maximum. So I think that they'd be cool with 25%.
Do we know why the building department asked for 50%?
Because they
Safety.
thought 25% was too low.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's kind of interesting how Warren has 50% for non-illuminated, and then 25% if it's illuminated.
Well, I think they're talking about an illuminated sign,
Inside, yeah.
not the light illumination.
No, I'm talking, but then again, everything with the string lighting and stuff is to illuminate the sign. So it could have string lighting just around the sign and it's lighting it. So there's these technicalities that really confuse everybody, I think. We just add more confusion all the time because we've got probably one of the longest sign ordinances I've ever seen. Now that that's our fault because we all wanted more control. And now you go into somebody else's, another municipality's ordinance, and it's like, 50% of one page is the sign ordinance.
At least
So
we
now
do.
we got a book. So I'm open. I mean, once we got everybody in agreement, My personal is the 25%
With no square footage?
with no square footage, yeah.
I will go with the majority, so yes.
No, I agree, especially because with the sentence here too about the building department, I don't think that they like want 50%. I think they're saying, yo, don't grant any more than 50%. And if we're doing 25, we are well within exactly what they want, if not probably the best case scenario. Because I would assume that would probably be, like, if the building department has a reason to ask for something like that, I assume it's safety in
They
measure.
The head of the building department came to my house, okay, when he was driving on. He said, he brought the guy who does the inspection. And he said, we want to sit down and talk about this. I said, okay. He said, we would like to see a maximum of 50%. And it's about the liquor stores mainly, you know, and all of these signs that they put up, you know, that cover everything. And he said, just, you know, 25% is not a lot of signage with the way the industry for that is going. If you look at all, you know, all of them have these.
Yeah.
I agree with Commissioner Tullers. It's, when I reread this paragraph, it's the building department is not asking 50%. It's saying, please max it at 50%.
Yeah, don't consider 75, just
Right.
50 at most.
That's not what they said.
That's not what they said to you, though, right? Did they tell you why they went it up to 50?
Because they thought with the way that they are going with the signage in these places, it was not palatable for the vendors themselves.
Oh, okay, all right, I'm trying to please the vendors, okay.
But we can go to 25. You know. What does everybody else think?
I think 25 would be good.
Commissioner Warnick?
I agree. I think, and especially I know when you're looking at things like the liquor stores, but they do get in excess of the signable area. They try to max out, so this brand has this gaudy big thing, and maybe it'll limit them to, you know, but here's the thing. I can't think of anything in being here for so many years where it really went anybody out there and measured the stuff to see, is it really 25%? It really looks like it's 80%, you know, some of these places. So if we're going to enforce it, that's the key. The key is all enforcement.
Well, that was the key. They plan on enforcing whatever we come up with.
Okay. So I like less gaudy,
Okay?
and 25% to me still gives them, we're granting them a nice size area still for additional signage, and it's,
Okay?
that's my personal opinion.
Okay, good. I have
And
a
it's-
question.
When you're saying 25%, are you talking about the entire window of a business? What if they have a very small window? Then they have almost no sign at all.
Right.
That's right.
You know, I think some accommodation should be made for that.
Tried to warn you.
I think then it would be considered a wall sign if it wasn't in the window.
Pardon?
I think then they would be allowed wall signage, which is a different consideration, not a window sign. They have different sign regulations on a window as opposed to a wall.
Even though it's a window, you make.
Well, depending if they want it in the window or on the
No,
wall.
I'm saying if they want it in the window, but they have a very small
Right,
window.
yeah.
And you're making it so small, nobody's going to see it. I think we need to think about that, too.
But that's not their only sign.
Yeah, they might just
That's
have
not their
That's not the only sign, and there's no way we can get something that's gonna fit every single building. You just have to,
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying every
Yeah.
single building.
I know what you're saying, but.
Yeah, there's a lot with a facade, you know, they have the brick facade all the way up, and they just have little windows all the way across, or even
Yeah.
just to get light in the place. So now, you're giving them 25% of that as opposed to maybe more. I understand what you're saying.
I do too.
Right.
And it makes more sense. So how can we be a little more forgiving or do something when it comes to that? That's where we start making the things like the 150 square feet. Now we're saying 25% of 100 square feet as opposed to 25% of 3,000 square feet if it's one of those big glass buildings. So it gets really, really touchy because now you have buildings that are completely glass.
I don't think we want to discourage people from coming in or having people leave. As soon as the water bill went down, that coin washing machine thing, she moved out. She said she couldn't afford it.
Right.
And so, you're gonna, when you get too tight, Fraser at one time was so special, you could do a lot of stuff. Not anymore. I don't think you can treat it the way you used to treat it. I think you have to be a little more lenient. That's just my personal opinion.
And it's going to be the type of business that's going to control that, because some don't need that. They don't need that window space to advertise their business. It's the selective items that change, so it's tough. To try to be available for everybody, to give everybody their fair share. I don't know if we need to look at it even more. We've
You're
done
not
that
gonna-
quite a long time
You're
already.
never gonna make it. so
It's never going to be, no.
No, I mean, we've got months and months and months in this.
Yeah.
And if they wanted something special, they could always come and get a variance on it.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so. I think-
Variances is always available.
Is it possible to word it such as this is what we want, however, if there is extenuating circumstances, they can come to the city?
That's implied in the ZBA.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, right.
That's why the ZBA is there.
Yeah.
If there are extenuating circumstances, they have the right to apply for a variance.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, because there's these other ones are given this right and we don't have it. Now you can go for a variance then.
Commissioner Tuller?
I think that the important thing to remember here is that this is very specifically window signs. And if you have a very, very tiny window, you probably have a wall or another place that a sign could go. And I get it that we definitely want to be accommodating to everybody, but also people can be creative. They can figure it out. At the end of the day, if you've got a window this big and you got a giant wall, you're going to stick your sign on that window and cover up 100% of it. You're going to put it on the wall and follow the ordinance as is. And then if you don't have either, you could get a marquee sign or, there's a huge amount of signs that we can do and there's so many different types. This is just signs on glass windows.
Right.
And again,
They
25%
usually end up
sounds
being
perfect.
paper signs or something that
Yeah,
is temporary. And
that's a whole nother thing, temporary signs.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Meyer, do you have any comments?
I know, I agree with the 25%.
25%, 25%, 25%. So that's how it's written, right? So we
Yeah.
don't have to make any revisions. All right, yay, okay. So we will go on to our public hearing. Is that correct?
Done with signs now?
Well, we have to open the public hearing.
John,
Before we stop discussing, I had one person come to me and say, you should address feather signs. Okay? And that feather signs, in their opinion, should be a temporary sign and applied for and cannot automatically be renewed. It can't just stay there forever. Now, that's what this person said to me, okay? That's the only comment I gotten on signs, besides what the building department said, but. So, I don't know if we want to address that.
Why don't we review what we have drafted, which I don't recall what we did with the feather sign.
Yep, so if you look on page 11 of the draft ordinance, it provides that feather signs are only allowed in conjunction with an approved temporary use. So obviously, a temporary use is in a different part of the zoning ordinance.
Okay? Beautiful. Good. Now I can answer him. Thank you.
I do have a question.
Go ahead, Commissioner Meyer.
Feather signs are those the signs, I don't know what the business is, but,
These guys that they stick in the ground.
so on 14 Mile and the railroad track across from, used to be the old Cross plant, it's now Ferusha, they have those signs, that's considered a feathered sign? And I'm not sure. It's on the south side of 14 Mile, right at the railroad tracks. It's just west of the railroad tracks. It's across from the old Cross plant.
I know what you're talking about.
It's, the company's name, I know how to spell it, I just don't know how to
Forcia.
say. Forcia, okay.
But I don't know
Is
what the
that-
sign is.
Is that considered a feathered sign?
It's all the ones that are
Look
like
at-
over there.
Look
right?
at page 3 of the ordinance.
So if they've had those signs for years, are they exempt? They will stay?
Oh, the flags
No, I'm talking across the street.
across the street. All right, this one's a little bit old.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about though. The stuff that's
Right,
in the, I
they-
think they're just signs.
But is that not considered a feathered sign, and do they stay because they're already there?
Once
I do not know what the sign looks like, so I don't know. But I would say that it would depend on what's currently on the books for feather signs. I do not know that off the top of my head.
I was just wondering, because of what Frank just said, that's why I was asking.
Well, if we got signs in Fraser that aren't right once this is approved, there's a thing called the grandfather clause, but I don't think the city
It
can make
doesn't
them take
affect
them
them.
down.
Correct.
No, I was just, by what he just brought up,
All right.
that's why I was asking.
I'm not familiar with that.
Check it out.
No, wait.
Trying to find it, unfortunately. Street View's old on it. It's like 4 years old. I know what you're talking about though.
No, I just thought of it because of what you just mentioned, so.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Okay, no further discussion. We'll go to the next item. We'll open up the public hearing for the zoning ordinance text amendment, section 3285, sign regulations. Public hearings open. Let the record reflect there's no one in the audience to speak, and I'll close the public hearing. So now I think we're going to entertain a motion to forward our draft sign ordinance to city council for review and adoption.
I move that we forward the sign ordinance that has been crafted in its current form to city council for adoption.
It's been moved by Commissioner Farina and support by Commissioner Kyle to forward the draft ordinance for the sign regulations to city council for review and consideration and adoption. There will not be a public hearing at city council, correct? Okay. And then what's the procedure after the adoption? How long does it take for it to be in effect?
So that would be up to city council. Typically, what I see is that there's a notice of adoption that's published, and then it could be made effective immediately, it could be made within 7 days, but that would take place at the city council level if adopted.
Okay, and should they have some revisions to it, they'll make that recommendation, come back to us, I assume.
That I do not know. I would have to check with Mr. Denault on that. I've never seen something come back down, if I'm being honest with you. But they may be able to make changes since you are just a recommending body.
Okay.
They may be able to make changes, is my guess, and then they would implement that since they're obviously the policymakers.
All right, that makes sense, thank you.
But I'm sure if it's an absolute overhaul, it'd probably be
Well,
something.
let's not hope.
Yeah, for all of our sake.
Yes, let's hope not. Okay, all right, Mr. Gishlake, would you please do a roll call?
Commissioner Barr,
Yes.
Commissioner Zarnicki,
Yes.
Commissioner Farina,
Affirmative.
thank you. Commissioner Kyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuller,
Yes.
Commissioner Warnick.
Yes.
We will go to agenda item number 8, public communication and non-agenda items. I am not aware of any. Agenda item 9. I am?
I gave it to you.
What did you give to me?
I went on to, you had forwarded us this thing about the Clinton Township.
Oh, that's what I passed it on. Commissioner Warnick?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you wanted that included.
It's the right time for
So
that.
we were discussing this? I have not had time to read it. But go ahead.
It's like Clinton Townships.
I went on to look at the Clinton Township master plan, if you will, but it's called something different there. but their annual report, and we have one coming up, all we do is we say, this is how many actions there were, and then this is the item, this is the resolution. They go in and they list the planning membership, which we kind of do also. But they then show what the site plan was. It was a revised site plan thing, so that it's concise, so that if anybody wants to know what happened, they don't have to go and, now they've read what happened, and they gotta go look up something else. It's all in one place. So I was looking at this saying, geez, that might not be a bad idea for us to do. You guys can look at it, or, here, I can give you.
I can make a note for Lauren to, and myself, to peek at it as a model. Clinton Township, you said?
All right,
Thank
well, I can give you that.
Sure.
And we can pull it up online, I'm sure. It's
Yeah, if you found it online, I'm sure I can.
Right, yes.
It's very cool. I just looked at it. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Yes.
Super cool for the public, if people want it.
If they want it,
All 3 people.
yeah.
You think it'll be that many?
We'll see. It's still cool. I think it's cool.
City council.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I'll
I'm
pay for
thinking
the
about.
audience tonight.
Make it easier for them.
That might be very helpful for city council. I agree with you there, Commissioner Farina. Yes, I agree.
Keep it simple.
Okay, you'll give us feedback, Ms. Warren, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I trust you. Okay, agenda item number 9, monthly report, September 2024. Ms. Warren, do you want to address anything on there?
Do you have any updates for Big Boy, or I don't know the history about?
Can you tell us about hockey?
I cannot, I'm gonna,
I'm told that they have been working through their list with city administration in terms of some of the property maintenance violations, I shouldn't say violations, but outstanding items, in terms of code enforcement, things of that nature. I do not know the specifics on the absolute punch list. They've been dealing with city administration, not our office with that. For the legal side of things, their attorney that was here is no longer general counsel for Big Boy. So we are working through trying to figure out who to contact over there. He is in contact with us still and is willing to help as much as he can, but that's a new development, so. But they are working along.
Warren? The report comes from you, so you should have that information.
I understand. This background I didn't get a chance to do since I was thrown in tonight's meeting. I'm sorry, I apologize.
All right, so that September 30 deadline that's on our report is no longer, it's null. Okay. Any other items for discussion then, for that?
Sorry. The next thing on the list was the sheets. They are coming to council, a special meeting on October 30th to approve or deny the conditional rezoning. And then we have Sunbelt, which,
Excuse me.
yes,
That meeting will not be here.
no,
Because
it'll
of
be at
early
this.
voting, they haven't decided a spot for it, so you,
I think I was told it was at the senior center.
Nope,
Oh, no?
absolutely not.
Oh,
Let's not.
Sorry.
It has not, still has not been determined, right? So anybody, listening to the public, yes, it is a public hearing.
Yes.
It's going to be advertised as a public hearing. Mailing notices will go out to anybody within a 300-foot radius. But it is Wednesday, October 30, 6 PM, and the meeting place has not yet been determined. Am I correct, Commissioner Farina? I'm a little worried. I didn't say anything. I went to the city council meeting when they set up the date. I hope everybody in Fraser is aware of that meeting, that it gets spread throughout Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, it will.
whatever, social media.
Yeah.
Because I don't do social media, so roly-poly.
And then the Sunbelt was highlighted, but I believe Lauren said that was old and taken care of. Meyer was here tonight, and they received their ZBA variance last month. And I think that's it for the monthly report. I do have the Mr. Car Wash, which you guys are aware of, the Meyer development. We do have a site plan. It's in the folder. We just have to review it for next month, so that should be coming to you.
And do you know why it wasn't tacked on to this meeting?
I am not sure. I don't know if procedurally they thought, Laura administration thought it should go. I'm not 100% sure on the back.
I think we would all like to know that next month.
Sure, of course.
Because we want to smooth, we don't want to bounce them back and forth.
Yeah, I understand.
Right. Yeah,
Make a note.
I agree. Anything else?
That's it for the report, monthly
Uh,
report.
Question, are we going to, hopefully we'll have a November meeting with the Meyer.
Myers, yeah.
But also, how about the, what do we have, the driveway expansion? Are we going for
Driveway expansions?
driveway expansion? Are we going to discuss
I'm not
that?
sure on that. Is that something for the zoning ordinance?
Yeah, for some reason, I know that Miss Sarah brought it up when we were here in August, and for some reason, I thought we landed on kind of making it part of the zoning ordinance moving forward. But I would have to defer to her on.
Okay.
She's kind of leading that discussion.
All right, I was a little confused myself, so I didn't know.
I think we went back and forth with doing it as part of the overhaul or doing it prior thereto, but I would defer to her on
Okay.
the timing of everything.
All right, thank you, Ms. Erickson. All right, any other discussion on our monthly report? Okay.
Can I
Go
add
to
something?
a-
Can I add something before I wanted to, Lauren did let me know that she is going to draft a summary of the process of the zoning ordinance for you guys next month, to have at next month's meeting. For the zoning ordinance update process,
At our
for the next meeting.
regular meeting?
Yeah.
Okay,
So she'll let you know the process of
Okay,
that. She
that's
said
good.
She's gonna put together something.
okay.
Shouldn't that go out to not only this, the ZBA people, the city council people that are on that also?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think she was just gonna let you guys know of the
Oh,
process
okay.
going forward, what it's gonna look like.
Yes, it'll be helpful to all of us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Agenda item number 10, zoning board of appeals member liaison report, Commissioner Farina.
Our last meeting was with Myers, and you heard the outcome of that. We granted them the variance. There is no meeting tomorrow night, so there is nothing on the agenda. And as far as I know, there was nothing in the hopper for November either.
Not that I'm aware of, no. I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Agenda item, go ahead. Commissioner Farina.
Just to tell you, I've asked Lauren if we do not have anything, to at least have a quarterly meeting to keep some kind of organization. And we still have an opening on the board. Trying to, I'm canvassing some candidates to try and get that position. I'd like his help with city council, the city clerk to do that also, advertise it on the billboard out front, or on the roly-poly, or whatever you want to call it online. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll put something on the Facebook about an opening. We do that every couple months. We update what's open and what's not, so.
Okay.
Mr. Gishlag, because I did go to the council meeting when they set the public hearing for Sheets, they mentioned possibly putting up a sign at 14 Utica in front of the bank building. Have you heard anything?
I've heard nothing about that at all.
Thank you. All
Sounds
right.
like that bank's gonna be coming down here pretty quick.
Yeah, they're already approved, and demolition was on site surveying it a couple days ago. Actually talked to the demolition company too for a little bit, just,
The bank is coming down.
yes, the owners
They're already
are
there.
bringing it down. It
They're
is-
already there working.
There are
no matter
residents
what
that
happens
asked
with
about,
Sheets, it's coming down.
yeah, there were residents that approached my office about going to the historical commission to see what they could save. They wanted specific items that you wanted to hang on to during the, after the.
That's what, I spoke to the demolition company and the owners, and I'm working to do the same thing. There's some
Cool.
historically significant light fixtures in there and just things that I'm trying to save myself.
Has a demo permit been issued already?
Yes.
Yep.
Educate me.
approved.
So who comes forward with the demo? I assume the owner, but how did that get processed through the city?
Yeah.
Educate me.
I don't know. That's not my department. I'm in election mode.
Building
I don't do demolition permits.
Commissioner Warnick?
Yeah, I don't know.
Department.
They've got to apply for
Yeah.
a permit first, So I would think as the building official getting something like that, it would, there'd be more involved than just saying, okay, we're approving it.
I mean, if they meet the parameters, there's no special thing with, like officially with the building. It is special, but like,
Well-
and then,
I mean, sheets or no sheets.
Still a
And then they
Try
just-
to do
Yeah,
this.
it's still
Yeah.
a site plan
Really.
by even needing to take what's there and do something with it.
Yeah.
Whether it be destroy it or add to it.
yeah.
It's still something that should be a site plan.
When they were originally here, they were talking
for
about
approval.
keeping, I don't remember, 4 foot or something of the building, when they just leave that one wall there of the building. That's what they were talking about originally.
I don't know any of the specifics on what's exactly coming down. I just know that like it's filed, approved. They were on
How
site.
did you hear it, Commissioner Teller? Through?
I heard it through Facebook,
Facebook?
and then I saw pictures of them there, and then I called the demolition
You
company
say
and asked
they,
them.
or the demolition
I
company?
called them, yeah, and I spoke to them, and they confirmed that also. But they also told me that it's not like anything that's happening now. They said that it's going to be a little bit. So I don't know how long that means, but I think that means that
Do the Sheets own that property? We still never had that clarified.
I don't know. I went and looked on BSA online, and it just says new owner. Because I wanted to call them first and just be like, hey, I'm Trevor. I'm on the planning commission with Fraser, and I want to save some stuff there. But it just online says new owner. It doesn't have
It's
any
gonna shock a lot of
info.
residents if it comes down.
It's,
Alicia, can I ask a question of you? What Randy said, is that right?
I'm sorry, I don't know because I don't see demo permits
No,
or,
I mean.
That it has to be a
it's
site plan, but
It's a change to the site plan, so they should have had a site plan approval.
for bringing a building down, I,
Oh, for what that, for basically what is gonna,
whatever's going to be there.
whatever.
what the site's gonna be like, then, I mean, it's a little different, it's a little confusing that way, because usually they're putting a cart before the horse, like, or horse before, what do you do? Whatever you say. But,
but I think technically you could probably demolish a building on your property that you own and not have any plans to do anything.
except this being commercial.
I mean,
So commercial's a
also-
little different, because you're leaving some, the end result, they could leave it vacant, but we would have some concerns with that and what it should look like vacant even.
So this might be hearsay, but I did hear that the building has some damages inside, and it was certified as irreparable. I don't know who or why or how,
Yeah,
but
also certified it's unsafe to go into, too.
so like that's
Well, then that, yeah, it could be condemned.
if that's the way it is.
Maybe it went through
it's-
that, we don't know. I guess McKenna was because they're dealing with the building
And
department.
that would be all the building official, which you
Right.
can find out.
Yep.
Because that is that process for demolition.
Yes, yes. very-
It was probably a year ago where I read that the building was considered unsafe to enter.
Yeah,
Could
which
you
Well, that makes
check
sense
on
if
that
it is.
and send something out to the,
To us,
Yes.
by email, that would be,
please.
please, thank you. Please. Because we have a lot of people asking us. I had no clue it was coming down, but that's my fault.
Yeah, if their plans are,
Facebook finds things out pretty quick.
they do, but they sometimes can.
Is that all
be
true?
rumors, too. Yeah, it could be false. But demolition typically doesn't come through planning. and
Right, I
building.
understand
But yeah,
that.
if there was a site plan involved, if they were adding to it, they definitely would have to come through planning.
Right.
but
That's also why I called
Demolition,
to verify too, because I didn't want to believe Facebook. I was like, all right, I'm just going to
Yeah,
call
you
that
can't-
demo.
yeah, you never know, but we can definitely look it up and see if there was a permit.
And let
pulled.
us know. And,
Yes, of course.
thank you. All right. Agenda item 11, commissioners' comments and items of interest and concerns. Commissioner Teller, anything you want to share?
No, I'm doing great. No concerns over here.
Commissioner Meyer?
I just wanted to mention the Devon Storage Project. I think that is a great improvement over what the building used to look like. I know it's not complete yet, but I think they've done a fantastic job.
I agree, it looks good. Commissioner Farina?
yeah, I'm very pleased with the facades going up on 15 Mile in Utica.
Oh,
And,
that too.
It's pretty. It's very nice, it's very being done very rapidly.
Yes.
Also, I want to thank the members of the commission for supporting the St. Malachi Men's Club charitable fundraiser that's coming up. A number of you did. I appreciate it. It's coming up on the 19th, and if anybody wishes to go, I have tickets available to do that. But thank you all. It's very big,
You're welcome.
very nice.
Commissioner Barr, any comments?
No comments at this time.
Commissioner Kyle?
I'm good.
Commissioner Warnick?
Just to add to, those other buildings and that, the Fairway Packing one is beautiful. It blends right in nicely, and I think that's going to be added good looks to the community.
We're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Keep it up,
Yep.
my team. It's great.
Sounds
Mr.
good.
Gishling, anything?
Not for me, thanks.
Ms. Warren?
I would just like to note that on Sunday is the firefighter open house. McKenna and city administration, myself and Lauren will be there from 12 to 3 for feedback for the zoning ordinance revision coming up.
If I can add to that, there's a drawing too, and I looked in my pocket because I had bought 5 tickets, but they're $5 a piece for a big DeWalt toolkit that's worth $1,500 or so. So if anybody wants those, they still got time up till the
I
open
was
house.
going to say, I believe in scratching the back. People scratch my back. I'd be up for tickets. Nobody has any here.
Yeah, but I got mine through Bob Logan, so.
And I'll be swearing in some on-call firefighters that afternoon as well. We'll do a mass swearing in.
Good.
And Ms. Erickson, you have anything?
Nothing this
Do you
evening.
want to make an announcement about the...
I'm having a baby in January.
I had no idea. That's cool. I have none. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move.
It's been moved by
Second.
Commissioner Farina and support by Commissioner Meyer to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carries.
Boy, that one went through quick.
John,
Not like the sign ordinance, right?
No, not
Yeah.
like the side orders. I don't ever want to hear that word again. Wonder how many,
The agenda's not released yet, that's why.
Hey, so Frank, to get a horse is $25? Dinner is $40, in addition to the 25.
It's released Friday.
So I don't have to get a dinner ticket if I'm not going.
That's why I didn't say anything.
Okay.
just because it's.
That's